Now, let's meet the mayors from some of Europe's most creative cities. In a conversation with Charlotte G. of the MIT Tech Review, and straight from winning the iCapital Award for being Europe's most innovative city, please welcome the mayor of Athens, Georgios Kaminis. He will be joined by mayors of our runner-up cities from Umeå, northern Sweden, Marie-Louise Rönnmark, and from Leuven in Belgium, Mohamed Ridouani.
Innovation is about humans, the places we meet, the work we do, the spaces we create.
You're my hero. Thank you so much. No, thank you.
Right, I think that's our cue. Okay, thanks everyone for joining us. My name's Charlotte. I work for MIT Technology Review, and it won't pass you the sort of irony of having someone who works in an American publication who's British presenting something about the European Union. Don't ask me how that happened. Firstly, could we please, each of the mayors we're going to hear from, can you introduce yourselves briefly? So Georgios from Athens, just each of you briefly where you're from and what you're doing.
Well, my name is Georgios Kaminis. I'm the mayor of Athens since 2011. I'm a university professor of constitutional law at the Faculty of Law of the University of Athens, and I have served 2 terms previously as the Greek National Ombudsman.
Okay, fantastic. Marie.
My name is Marie-Louise Rönnmark, coming from Umeå. I used to say you and me means Umeå, so now you know it. And I have been the mayor for decades. That means I run up for 5 times. And I'm also been on the national parliament, the Committee of Foreign Affairs. I'm just checking up what is happening around the globe.
Yes, yeah, and Mohamed.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Mohamed Ridouani. I have been just elected as the new mayor of the city of Leuven in Belgium. Leuven is quite well known for 2 things. One, we have a large university, so we're a city of knowledge and innovation. And secondly, we're the city of Stella Artois. So we're known for our beers and the drinking culture.
Very good. Okay, so I guess I'm going to kick off for you, Georgios, first of all. How do you go about engaging citizens in your sort of innovation activities? What did that look like for you?
Well, it all started when I met Ms. Amalia Zepp during my first term, to whom I proposed to be a candidate with me for the upcoming election for the second term. And Amalia was at the time a very active member of a group of citizens that have, emerged during the crisis, doing things for Athens. So through Amalia, we worked on a project in the beginning of my second term, and we prepared a proposal for the Bloomberg Philanthropist competition that took place in 2013, how to organize, have a framework to work together with all active citizens groups. Now we form 400 groups in a platform that we call Synathina, and 180 donors, stakeholders, companies, supporting those groups and everyone together to do things for Athens.
Yeah. What about Naomi? I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that correctly. What did that look like for you, engaging citizens?
Yes, it's necessary because if you don't have citizens which is allowed to be involved in what you're doing, then you have no trust. So trust is one of the main words for the globe today. We have to have trust. So we started very early with the young kids. So we let the young kids of their dreams or ideas to come up, and we let the grown up and the professional do what they wanted to. So that means if you have a 6-year-old girl standing up for an idea and the prototype is what she wanted, the sky is not a limit for that girl. I give it to you. That's very, very necessary to build it up. But also, we have been working for decades with the gender equality, because if you not actively plan for gender equality, you will lose a lot of people from the city. So we have been working very, very tough with the gender equality with women, because if we develop for the women, that it's good for the kids, and then the men will come, and after that you will have growth.
I quite like that approach. Mohamed, what about, and Leuven, what did citizen engagement look like for you, and still does, I presume?
Yeah. Well, we are a very specific city. We have a large university, which makes us a young city, but we also have 171 nationalities living in Leuven, many of them linked to this international environment around the university and the entrepreneurship around the university. And over the last years, we have come to experiment with a new kind of governance model, as we call it. So not based on loose collaboration, but to achieve some of our main goals, for example, becoming carbon neutral by 2030, we have created really a new governance structure. I'll give you an example. Leuven 2030 is in fact a governance model where we have structured the collaboration in a decision-making model, which means that city, together with knowledge institutions, together with entrepreneurs, citizens, and semi-public institutions like transport companies, they really work together and take decisions together. They decide about budget, they decide about actions. And over the last 5 years, we have invested really heavily in our buildings to insulate them, so to make sure that they don't use too much energy. We have shifted towards a new kind of mobility with the implementation of a new circulation plan, which increased over 2 years. It increased in our inner city the cycling traffic with 30%, and decreasing heavily the traffic, in fact, circulation in our city. And it was carried out with all these stakeholders. Another thing, another example is Leuven Mindgate, where our economic policy is carried out again with a new structure, which is called Leuven Mindgate, with all these stakeholders. And together we have decided that our focus should be on the crossroads of technology, health, and creativity. And there you have the knowledge institutions, but also a lot of entrepreneurs bringing new services around this dynamic, these ecosystems, people that are engaged in process design, graphic design, gaming, and so on. So, in fact, it creates a whole new play field where also entrepreneurs and scientists and citizens collaborate together to find complex answers to complex problems.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, thank you for your answer, Mohamed. Obviously, Georgios, Athens now has won €1 million, and that's fantastic for what you want to achieve. I want to ask, how are you going to spend it, is my first question.
Well, it's quite an amount to decide so early what you are going to do, but for sure, we are going to invest it in what we have already done. But first of all, we have to follow the basic principle of what we have done. That means that we must have a large consultation with all the people, the organization, the stakeholders with whom we have worked till now, and we will keep on going. But we want to leave a legacy for the city, and I dare to say for the rest of Europe. My personal dream is that Athens becomes a European hub for social innovation in the public sector.
Yeah. Well, it's a very good dream to have. And what about in Umeå? How about, I suppose, I know that you've also won some grant funding, but rather than ask about that, if I may, I want to ask, what do you think other cities can learn from you?
I think what we have been working for decades is about trust to involve the citizens, because if you are talking about pollution or the energy question or climate change, you have to start with the citizens. So we have a lot of projects together with the citizens that makes differences. But we have also at the Umeå University, the School of Industrial Design, who is ranked as #1 in the world. And we used to work together with them because they are looking on different ways how to handle hairy questions. So we take them also into the city and also for the hospital. So develop that is also a way of putting up for the new tech and high tech. So we are putting up 5G because we have to handle a lot of big data for the future. Having a 5G hospital helping in the world or producing or exchanging in the world is also necessary, and also for the secure system. So I think if you for the money we got, we haven't got as much as you, but we are happy to be here. Yeah. For the money what we have got, we will have a big conference together with the industrial design and with the researcher, which is on the top, and invite you to dare and share ideas for the future, because we are everybody here to share.
It sounds like, from what you've all said so far, some common themes seem to be cross-sector collaboration and basically ensuring that you engage citizens properly.
And you have to have courage as well. If you want to go on the front, you have to have courage.
Yeah.
You don't have to look on the backyard.
Yeah.
Just go for the front. And that means that the citizens and the researching or businessmen or whoever they are, they must feel that they trust you.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to go slightly off script. I want to ask Mohamed something, because it's occurring to me that you're all politicians, and here at Web Summit this year, there's a big theme around the intersection of politics and technology, because people are thinking about regulations, all sorts of things. Do you think that politics can learn from tech, or do you think tech should learn from politics, Mohamed?
I didn't hear you.
So I said, in terms of what politicians have to teach tech companies and what tech companies might have to teach politicians, which way do you think that's going right now? Yes, no, please.
You need both and.
Yeah.
Because I was in June in London to talk with the people who's handling Brexit, and I was also...
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I will not go further on with that. And also I was in New York and Washington, and in the whole globe we are talking about everything, how to trust. So that's not the fake news and the way of living which is not trust. If you don't put it on the agenda as #1, we will lose in the democracy. So that's, we need each other. Trust. Very closely.
Yeah. Sorry, Mohamed.
Well, I think what's really coming up is how to use like data, big data in a governmental environment. I think there we're really just at the first steps in the public sector. So I hope that that technology people, that entrepreneurs in the future can help governments, in fact local and national and international, to base their policies also on data, to have a clear view on what you are doing in terms of safety, in terms of social policy. On the other hand, I think that, and this is what I see in collaboration with Leuven Mindgate, Leuven 2030, is having this goal towards the future. If you are value-driven, if you are driven by common goals, things that you want to achieve as a society, as an ecosystem, I think that's very, very strong, because that will build, in fact, confidence. If you're striving towards a common goal, and everyone is bringing its angle, its view on things to the table, and you try to solve things together, I think that creates opportunities for all and will make things move faster.
Yeah. And Georgios, obviously you are here having been successful, so I want to ask you, what were the main challenges that you've encountered in terms of trying to foster more innovation? What were maybe even the mistakes? Did you make any mistakes?
Pardon?
Did you make any mistakes along the way?
Oh, many.
Okay,
Many mistakes, because if you take risks, you run the risk of making a mistake. Anyway, I would like to answer this. I think that it's very crucial what we do with technological innovations and artificial intelligence, because you have now all those devices that learn on their own, from themselves. Of course, we do not have the risk of machines developing their own will. That's science fiction. But we have big companies that gain profit, but accumulate great deal of power because of the data that they have and because of the artificial intelligence where machines learn from themselves. So it's a question of democratic procedures, openness, accountability for everyone, for big companies and for governments. And I have to say that on the level of municipalities, there you have accountability, because a mayor, even in big towns, he's visible, he's accountable. People know him and ask him. So what's going right now in the cities is very important for democracy, especially in the European Union, where we can feel through cities this gap of democratic legitimacy.
Yeah. Do you have anything to add to that?
I was in the National Board of Innovation several years back, and we wonder why the big companies, because the municipality is also big, why the big companies didn't got so many of innovations. So we tested with a big company who was at the stock market, and I will not tell you who it was, but we asked them, can we maybe go inside to help you about the leadership? If the leader says to an engineer, when he tried to, or she tried to make a change, he said, no, we can't do that. But if the leader says yes for 9 times, maybe there will be changes. Because as a leader, maybe you don't understand what they are talking about. So you have to be open-minded and trust what they try to give you on the way.
And Mohamed, I'm going to ask all of you this because I think it's we're slowly going to have to round up. I want to ask you a very easy question. Can you think of 3 reasons why the investors should be interested in your city in particular?
Well, as I said, innovation and beers. So where do you need more? And the talent. I think cities like Leuven are very interesting for investors, and we see them coming, actually. It's more a matter of providing with the space. And I see that our strategy of Leuven Mindgate, where we connect, in fact, science with entrepreneurship, is working. And we see that our university is, in fact, the going-to-market of the science produced at the university towards products in the market is going very fast, and we will need non-academic people as well to provide services around that in communication, process design, and the going-to-market. So it has to go faster. How do you make of a brilliant idea a product or a service? And it has to go very fast. We will also need to attract more financial capital. And finally, governments need to dare to invest. We will have to invest in Europe more in science park, innovation parks, physical places that are affordable to entrepreneurs, to innovative people, so they can do their thing. And we need to take away the, let's say, the regulation barriers and so on, so make sure that it happens. I think that's very important.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have 3 key words. It's trust, openness, and curiosity. And together it's about passion. Because if you are not working together, there will be a big problem. Because there's a lot of people around which is having so many good ideas. So take them for what they are, give them as in the network, then you will have double back. So we are working globally in different ways. What I want to do now, we are going for dinner tonight, all these guys from the cities, because we have to talk with each other, what to do, what we have done now, to make the next step, because the future is here. The algorithm will not be the democracy for the future, it will be the people.
I'd love to be a fly on the wall in that dinner, but I won't invite myself. Georgios, what about you? What are the sort of reasons to invest?
I will continue with what you said about trust. Usually, mayors and governors, they demand trust from the people. But you have to do it also the other way around. You have to trust people. It's like in a family, it goes both ways. And transparency is very vital for building trust and maintaining trust. And thus you can persuade that through those synergies, if there is fairness towards everyone, you create win-win situations. Everyone then is pleased. And something more that we have seen in Athens, because since 2011, we have covered a long distance since then. You build self-confidence to the people. The people in Athens are not afraid anymore because we have undergone those terrible experiences with the crisis and the refugee crisis, which was a crisis within a crisis, but through synergies, through working together, through innovation, we have managed to deal with those very difficult situations.
And if you're, oh yes, sorry, no. Go
I saw some statistic globally last week, and it's not so good statistic because the political parties, the trust of the political parties in the globe goes down. But the people by themselves, by the NGOs and so on, they are still very engaged. So they believe on the global democracy. But so that's why it's necessary what we are talking about, that also the political government show up and give the future for us all together.
Yeah, we certainly meet in interesting times.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for coming and
Thank you.
speaking with me and for answering my questions, even the ones that were a little bit more difficult. And thank you everyone for coming along. I don't know if we're the last thing before lunch, but if we are, please enjoy. Please, round of applause. Thank you.